What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, Mike Walsh, and welcome to another episode of the Game Time Voice Report here on the Game Time Voice YouTube channel. On today's episode, we're going to take a look back at this Sunday's thrilling victory for the Patriots against the Dolphins in Miami, breaking a 5 game losing streak down there for the Pats. We'll also take a look at the New England Revolution firing head coach Caleb Porter and what that means for the rest of the season as well as the team going forward. And finally, we'll head to the golf course for our wackiest of the week, which should be an interesting story coming out of there. All that and much, much more. So buckle those chin straps and lace up those skates real tight. This is episode 7 of the Game Time Voice Report. First up on today's episode, we're going to take a look back at that exciting 33-27 win for the Patriots down in Miami against Tua and the Dolphins. That included such amazing plays such as this: Antonio Gibson's kickoff return for a touchdown. That was an answer to Malik Washington's punt return for a touchdown the previous play. Some of the key things to take out of that game include Drake Maye having really his best showing as a Patriot so far. He went 19 of 23 for 230 yards and threw 2 touchdowns, in addition to 1 rushing touchdown. Also on the positive side, Ramondre Stevenson had his best game of the year so far, reestablishing himself as the number 1 running back on the Patriots as the 27-year-old paced the Patriots' third quarter scoring drive by taking a deep 55-yard pass from Drake Maye, while also had 54 yards on 11 carries this season. On the not so positive side, though, the defense continues to struggle, not in the overall scheme of things, but in key points. Despite the late game heroics of Antonio Gibson and Andy Borregales, who we'll get to in a sec, Tua Tagovailoa found a great deal of success against the Patriots' cover 2 zones. And when the Pats attempted to play man coverage, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle found many room to get separation from it. Speaking of which, another part of the problem that the Patriots found on Sunday was rookie kicker Andy Borregales had a potential problem as he missed his first 2 extra points on the day before making 2 field goals at the end, including the one to put him off 6 late in the game. You combine those 2 missed extra points with his 40-yard miss in the second quarter of last Sunday's loss to Las Vegas, Borregales' role once again has been brought into question as he won the kicking job over the preseason. Couple that with an illegal procedure penalty as he was unable to kick the ball into the designated receiving zone on a kickoff that led the Dolphins to take over at the 40-yard line. Borregales has a lot of things to change, or else the Patriots might be looking for a new kicker down the road. Now, I mentioned Antonio Gibson and his kickoff return for the touchdown. It also gave us really the best moment of the entire day, as you see in the picture I've shown here, as Mike Vrabel very nearly beat him down the sidelines on the kickoff return. The Patriots will look to make adjustments as they are now 1-1 heading into week 3 and are in second place in the AFC East, just behind the 2-0 Buffalo Bills, who play the Dolphins this Thursday, while the Patriots will be welcoming in Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers this upcoming Sunday in Foxborough, 1 o'clock. From the Patriots to the team that they share a hallway with just down a little ways, the New England Revolution, they made a little bit of noise as they dismissed head coach Caleb Porter, who was finishing up his second season in charge with the team after a 1-1 draw to Toronto FC. With 4 games left in the season and the Revs 10 points almost out of a potential playoff spot, the team thought it was time to give Caleb Porter his marching orders, and his assistant, Pablo Morero, will be the interim coach for the remainder 4 games of the year. It hasn't been the greatest time under Caleb Porter for the New England Revolution. Across all competition, New England had 23 wins, 13 draws, and 39 losses under Porter, who now faces an uncertain future, even though he is a 2-time MLS Cup champion in 2015 with the Portland Timbers and in 2020 with the Columbus Crew. Porter's 2 years included a finish 14th in the Eastern Conference last season, 26th overall in MLS, and missing the playoffs after finishing 5th in the East and 6th overall in a hectic 2023. That season saw former coach Bruce Arena placed on administrative leave and eventually resigning from his position with the club, even though the comments that they said were insensitive in a way have not actually been publicly talked about yet. So we still don't know why Bruce Arena was sent away. Now, this is just the first in a many, many long list of disappointing moments for this franchise, as they have made it to 5 MLS Cups over their entire club history and have won none of them, basically becoming the Buffalo Bills of the MLS. But things looked to be on the upswing under previous head coach Bruce Arena back in 2021. They were the Supporter Shield winners, the winners of the best record in the MLS, and they were had home field throughout the playoffs, but were ousted in the first round by NYCFC, who would go on to win MLS Cup. Couple that with not very high attendance at Gillette Stadium, the crafts more focused on the Patriots than anything else, and the plan for a soccer specific stadium in Everett almost certainly about to fall at the wayside. This club is at a crossroads. And for a club that's an MLS original, has been around since the league's inception, and has so much history and so many wins. They have won 2 domestic trophies, winning the Superliga back to back years in 2007, 2008, and have some of the most iconic U.S. soccer players in the club's history, including Taylor Twellman, who played both for club and country. This is a crossroads of epic proportions for this team. Failing to sign big money names and failing to keep players that they do keep on their payroll. Be interested to see what players like Carlos Heald, Andrew Farrell, and Matt Turner, who returned to the club after going overseas for a little bit, what the future of the club looks like. And to be quite honest with you, as a loyal supporter of this team for many, many years, I have no faith in the Crafts doing anything promising about this club because basically they have treated this club almost like a tax write off and focused more on the Patriots than anything else. But hopefully, a return to health for the team, a new manager who actually knows what he is doing, and maybe an influx of support from ownership can help the Revolution go back to where they were almost just 4 years ago, which is a relatively short time in MLS, to where they were at the top of the league and threatening to win a championship. Next up, and finally on this episode of the Game Time Voice Report, we're going to take a look, as we always do, to finish up an episode with our wackiest sports of the week. And we're going to head, I believe, to Scottsdale, Arizona, where the young man shown here, Paul Mitzel, won't forget his round of 64 match in the U.S. Mid Amateur Championship in Scottsdale for a very long time. The 35-year-old mid-amateur Paul Mitzel, who is coming from Seattle, was in the middle of a back-and-forth match in the round of 64 at the 2025 U.S. Mid-Amateur at Troom Country Club in Scottsdale, Arizona, when something interesting seemed to happen. Mitzel was in a dogfight with competitor Ryan O'Rear as they had gone to extra holes, having seen the 18 that they were given, not able to decide it, and they were about to head to, I believe, the 21st hole. Now, I've only ever played 18 holes in a round of golf, as far as I can tell, and that's the most I've even considered playing. Going anything above that, I hear people who talk about 36 holes or anything like that. They play another round afterwards, and I'm just like, how do you people do something like that and not wait and go the next day? So obviously, after something like this, you're going to be a little bit tired, but you have to keep going. But Mitchell's caddy accepted a cart ride from the first green to the second tee, but he didn't realize that that is actually against the rules, and the rules official immediately called a penalty, ending the match and giving it to Ryan O'Rear, his competitor. Model Local Rule G6 states that during a round, a player or caddy must not ride on any form of motorized transportation except as authorized or later approved by the committee going forward. So the caddy, even though he might have been a little tired, and Mitzel, even though he was definitely tired, having played all this golf, could not accept a ride to the next tee. Mitchell, having been asked about afterwards, said, I have to think anyone in that situation takes the ride when a shuttle driver asks if they want to hop on really quick and not think anything of it. My caddy doesn't deserve any fault. He's the man and an awesome friend. I do the same thing in his shoes. We're having so much fun. It's too bad. Mitchell's competitor, O'Rear, asked if he could actually veto to keep playing because you don't want to win a match, especially something in a U.S. mid amateur, because of a rule violation by a caddy who got into a golf cart. But the committee no showed that and actually just said, no, we have to stick to these rules and everything like this. So O'Rear is going to go through and he'll face George Ardway in the round of 32 with other notables like 3 time winner Stuart Hagstad, defending champion Evan Bach, and brothers Cody and Bobby Massa, and more, moving on to further action in the championship. Each player had won 7 holes in the previous 18 leading up to this point, with only the fourth tied hole of the match on the 18th, sending them to extras, and how we got that far. Both players made par on the par four first before Mitchell's caddy accepted the ride. Now, I understand if players want to walk the full 18. Honestly, that's how some of these guys stay in shape. They walk all these times across all these courses and everything else and this and that. But I feel like the committee needs to change the rule. Obviously, you want players to walk the full 18. Don't make an exception for that. However, once you get to extra holes and once you get to playoff holes, if you want to bring in a caddy ride or a shuttle ride, then I think you have to do it because really most people just sign up for 18. If you get anything past that, you're really going above and beyond what you signed up for. So I think the committee needs to make this change for future events going forward. That's all the time we have for today. I want to thank you guys for joining us here for another episode of the Game Time Voice Report. Before we head out, I want to remind you guys, don't forget to like the video, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future videos going forward. Also, make sure that you hit that notification bell so that you can receive a notification whenever new videos go live. And make sure you go and check out previous videos on the channel, including live streams, commentary highlights, previous episodes of the Game Time Voice Reports, and stuff like a love letter to UMass Lowell Hockey, which was a passion project of mine, as well as my first ever vlog on the channel. And more of those are coming in the very near future. For now, I've been your host, Mike Walsh. Thank you guys for joining me again, and make sure to stay tuned for more videos coming out here on the Game Time Voice YouTube channel. This has been episode 7 of the Game Time Voice Report, and Game Time Voice, as always, is the voice of the common sports fan.